our stories to lift each other, give hope to push us further, and encourage one another. Behind the scenes beauty.
Tisha Campbell proves that she is definitely still here. This New Jersey native talks to behind-the-scenes beauty about her amazing 5-decade-long career. In this episode, Tisha talks humble beginnings, how she feels about being acknowledged by Hollywood, and we go down memory lane of some of her most iconic films, as well as what Tisha is looking forward to in her second half. All right, you are tuned in to another episode of Behind the Scenes Beauty. Today I have with me, I feel like I'm a track star because I've been chasing her down. She's an actress, she's a singer, she's so many things. She is the amazing Miss Tisha Campbell. How are you?
We finally did it.
Finally. I felt like since the press tour for Act Your Age that I was like, okay, I have to have her on the show. I have to have her on the show, and you're here.
I'm so glad.
No, I'm
here,
so glad to. You are one of those people that I can't think of a time in my life you were not there. Like from, I'm serious. Like you have been on television in every phase of my life.
That's very funny.
Yes,
since the 70s.
But it is. I mean, I'm a 70s.
Are you? No, you're not that old.
78.
Oh, look at you.
Listen.
Okay.
Yeah, so
he was born in the 1900s.
Boo, rags to riches. I know your resume.
Wait. That was you? That was you that watched that show?
I watched
you
that
the
show.
only one in America?
No. I was telling Sarah from The View, the girl that's my talent at the show, and I was telling her today I was working with you. She was like, oh yeah, I definitely know her from Rags to Riches.
Very funny.
She was talking to the executive producer about y'all yesterday and didn't even know we were doing this today.
Oh, wow.
And talking about that show specifically.
Oh, that's so weird.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
cool.
How was doing that show?
Is that a new dress?
He noticed. She made it herself.
No kidding. It's really pretty.
A bit of spring simplicity for the casual mademoiselle. The price a mere $49.99. Cost us $6 plus labor.
Now you're talking like a Foley girl.
Oh, it was amazing. It was my first time coming out to LA, actually. No, sorry, my second time. My very first time coming out to LA, it was to audition for 227.
Really?
Yeah, they flew me out from New Jersey. No, I was auditioning to play Regina King's friend, and one of my friends got it.
Okay.
But it was devastating because I really wanted to work with Marla Gibbs, and I almost quit the business after auditioning for 227. I was like, Mom, I'm done. This is just too much. I want to be a regular kid. I want to go to the summer arts program at Rutgers with my friends because I went to School of the Arts in Jersey. They had this big summer arts program and I quit. And then right after that, my mom calls me. She was like, your agent's calling me like crazy. There's this audition for Little Shop of Horrors and they really want you. And I was like, just tell them I quit. And she was like, all right. So she hung up. She called me back the next day. Tisha, you can leave school. You can leave the camp for like one day, audition so it could stop bothering me.
Right.
And I was like, all right, Mom, but I could come right back to camp. And she was like, yeah, you can go right back to camp. So I went to the audition, not expecting anything. And immediately I was there all day. And some of the girls that were there were flown from all over the country, including outside of the country in London. England, and I wound up getting it. And then I was flown to London. That was my first time being out of the country.
Oh, so y'all filmed in London?
Yeah.
Okay.
We filmed in London for almost a year.
So you're from Newark, New Jersey?
I'm from Newark, New Jersey.
Okay,
yeah.
You have siblings?
Oh, I got tons.
We'll get to the fact that you found one later.
Yeah, no, I have 7 siblings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a ton of us.
So are y'all in the arts?
That's very funny. No, I'm the weird one, I think. They all are very talented, which is very interesting. All my brothers can sing and stuff. But I was the only one that kind of took that part up.
So how does someone realize, how did you know this is something you want to pursue?
It was always something I wanted to do. It's like, okay, so I've been in this business for 52 years, right? Since I was 3 years old. And I've been around for a while.
But you don't look like what you've been through.
Thank you.
You look amazing.
And when I was about 3, I understood how completely poor we were. Like, it was really, really bad. And I wanted to help out. And so when I was about 5 years old, I was singing in churches and schools and stuff, but when I was about 5, my parents, we didn't have a television that worked. And so I heard that there was this talent contest in Newark, New Jersey at Newark Symphony Hall, where the second prize was a color television. I was like, Mom, I want to win us the color television. And she was like, you're the only child group that would be in the whole entire thing. And I was like, I don't care. I want to try to win this television for us. So I entered. I didn't win the television. I actually won the first prize, which was a car. Yeah, it got stolen a couple of months later after we got it. But I won the car. And that's what made me realize that I really did love what I was doing. And I understood that I could help my family out of their circumstances. And so I always say I tracked that through my entire career because, I was never one who wanted the fame and the fortune, and it wasn't my main focus. It was to help. And so to help other people was the main thing that I took away from, that one instant that changed everything.
That is bananas. So did you ever feel like you had to choose? Because you're an amazing singer.
Yeah.
But you're also an amazing actress as well.
Thank you.
Did you feel like there was a lane you had to take, or you always knew you sort of wanted to meld the two of them together?
No. You know what? I kind of fell upon acting. It was like a mistake. My mom was looking through this newspaper back in the day called Backstage and Show Business, and she saw there was auditions that they would post in there. When you would go to those are called open calls. That's what it was called back then. And those open calls, there would be thousands of people online. It was like an American Idol type audition. So if you didn't get an agent, and I didn't have an agent at the time, if you didn't get an agent to set up an appointment, you were going to open calls. So I kind of went on an open call with thousands of people. We were online all day when I was about 7. And I went in there with my parents. Both my parents were with me that first audition. And I walked in, and for some reason, I had a lot of confidence. I felt like I was one of the little rascals. And so I had to sing and dance and act. And I sang, and they brought me back in for the callback. And my parents were sitting on the sidelines, and they said, well, can you do ballet? And I said, yeah, of course. I never took a ballet doggone class in my life. And so I started twirling around from things that I saw on television, right? And they were like, oh, she's wonderful. My parents were like this. Jesus, go get her, June.
She is in there lying.
Lying. June, go get her, go get her, go get her. That's my mother. Like, bald-headed lie. So I'm sitting there, and then they say, can you tap? Can you do all these things? And I'm like, yeah, and I can dance. I can do disco as well. Because it was the 70s. And so I started dancing. They're like, oh, she's wonderful. She's this, she's that. And so it was my first audition, and I wound up getting it. It was for the Broadway play, Really Rosie.
Oh, so you've done Broadway too?
Oh, yeah. I started out doing plays, and after the singing in churches and schools, I started doing a lot of musicals, and that's how I, kind of honed in with that.
Wendell James I like, except for his name, which is Wendell James. Wendell James is the name for someone who's tall. He is small and he can't tie his shoelaces right, and he's also a devil when he gets mad. Wendell James is not a name because he's called Wendell James, but that is his name.
See, I thought you were, because I saw this after-school special with the man trying to burn the books.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. That was my first audition. That was the first one. And then the one after that, I started doing Really Rosie.
See, that mean I be on my stuff. That mean I'm good.
Yes, you are, because I was telling the wrong doggone history. But
it's
yeah,
all right.
that was the one. That was the first one.
Okay, that's what's
Really
up.
Rosie was the second big thing.
Okay, so you go on and like, so what's after Little Shop of Horrors? Like, what comes after that?
So I was about 16 then, and then, oh gosh, what happened? right after 16 was, I came back to the States and auditioned for Rags to Riches. But what's funny is right after I got Rags to Riches, I was about to go film the pilot, and I get this really strange call from this woman. She was like, "Hi, it's Donna. I want to know if you, Tishina Arnold, and Michelle Weeks from Little Shop of Horrors would be my background singer." I said, "Who is this?" She said, "LaDonna." I said, "LaDonna?" And she said, "Madonna." And I said, "This ain't no Madonna." And I hung up.
Are you serious?
I hung up on Madonna. Because you know you know the tour where she was in black and white and she filmed it. What was that one with the voguing one?
Yes.
She wanted us to be her background singers.
Oh my God.
And so I was like, well, she calls me back and I was like, wait, is this Madonna? And I was trying not to freak out that I just hung up on Madonna. And she said, "It's Madonna." And I was like, well, I'm doing a show right now, and Tishina Arnold is doing, All My Children. No, Ryan's Hope. Oh. She's doing a soap opera, so I don't know if we're contracted.
Right.
And then she just hung up.
Oh.
I know. She's like, "Thanks anyway," and hung up.
Is this your first time sharing this story?
Yeah, that's
Good.
the first
That's
time.
an exclusive.
It's an exclusive. I forgot all about it until you started talking about Rags to Riches.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's the first time I think I talked to her.
Oh my God. That is so dope.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Thank God we were booked and busy. Thank God.
From the beginning.
Yeah. Thank God.
Well, let's talk about your first year with Tishina, because you guys have been working together
since we were 11 and 12. We've been friends.
And what I love about it is that y'all like.
She makes me say I was 12 because she wants to be younger than me forever.
But how many months is it really?
That heifer is on my heels.
How many months is it like?
It's a year. It's a full year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so we're the same age for like 2 months, and then that's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But the beautiful thing is y'all's career, like as friends, there's never anybody that's lagging behind. Like,
no, you know what? We started out being each other's understudies and auditioning against one another, but we've always had the mindset of supporting one another. So if it's not me, then I want it to be you. Mm-hmm. I want you to win. You know what I mean? And vice versa. That's how we've always operated. When she wins, I win. Mm-hmm. Every job she gets, I'm happy for her. Even if I'm not the person that gets it. Right. I want her to win. Yeah. And she is an unstoppable, amazing talent. She will hate this interview because she hates compliments. So I have to say it quick and get it out so she doesn't call me going, "Why are you complimenting me?"
Well, why she hate compliments though?
Tashina's always been a very humble person. We're both from the church. Tishina more so than me because she was going to church every single day. Oh, wow. That's what I'm saying. Like, I would go on Sundays, but she was in church every single day. We grew up in this business where we're only as good as our last job, so neither one of us really watch our work. I'm just starting to watch The Martin Show recently.
Really?
Like in the last 4 years. So I've been watching it. It's really funny.
Are you serious?
We don't watch our work because you're literally only as good as your last job. So as soon as something ends, you stop thinking about it and you're moving on to the next thing.
Whoopi says she doesn't watch her work.
Yeah, it's like, we're all from the same,
era where you just do it and keep it pushing.
And you just keep it pushing.
So question though, you've been doing it, like you said, for 50 years. Do you still love it with the same passion and intensity?
I love it more.
Really?
Yeah.
Based off of what? Like what
Based
fuels
off
it?
of, well, for my whole first half of my life, I did this for other people. Now my choices today are for myself.
Gotcha.
Today, everything that I do is because I enjoy it or that I love it or I'm doing it because I'm not doing things for money.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was 2022 or 2023. I don't remember which one it was. 2022, I think, was the year of the yes for me. So I said to myself, I'm not doing anything for money. If a friend of mine calls me and wants me to jump in and be in a movie, I'm not even going to read the script. I'm just going to see what happens.
Mm-hmm. And support them.
And support the way that I can and lend my talents or whatever they need from me. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did. And I worked the whole entire year with, I'd get paid here and there for whatever gig I was doing outside of that. But if a friend called, I was going to be there. And it was the best thing that I've ever done, because then I'm just doing things because it makes me happy to do it.
Gotcha. But I don't know if you realize, like, you are so embedded in culture. Like, I feel like you're the most unappreciated.
Really?
I feel like you deserve Oscars, Tony. Like, you deserve to be an EGOT.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. We don't think of it like that. Again, we come from a certain era where I was talking to somebody about this, because I just went to the Emmys for the very first time in my life.
That's bananas to me. Like, I can't imagine.
Yeah, and you know, back then, let's just say the Martin Show, for instance. I remember having this publicist who just so happens to be Caucasian.
Just so happens.
Just so happens to be Caucasian. I had a publicist, and in our second season, I asked, hey, do you think it would be a good idea for us to try to nominate me for an Emmy, since, you know, we're so successful? She was like, no, Tisha, now. And I go, now what? You know, you're not even going to get a nomination. And I was like, okay, what if we trick them? What if we nominate me for Best Supporting Actress?
Right.
And she was like, Tisha, you're not going to get nominated. And I was like, tell me why. She says, come on, you know why. That was because I'm Black? She was like, pretty much. I'm really sorry, but you're not going to get nominated. Back then, we didn't look at things to get accolades.
Right.
We were just trying to feed our families.
Right.
And we had to take away that we would be acknowledged for the things that we do. We could not look at it like that. We could not look at the past. We could not look at our past work. We just had to move forward and continue to do our best to feed our families. That's what we concentrated on, not anything else.
I'm so blown away, because I mean, School Days to me, Martin, My Wife and Kids, Uncoupled, which we'll talk about.
Okay.
Like, I just look at so much of your work, and I just think, like, and then you were a triple threat. Like, you were saying I'm not a real dancer, but you were killing it. Like, house party, like, oh my God. Like, and that's why I say it's like, I get that. I understand as it being your craft, but I am really blown away. And I want you to know you deserve all that and more.
Oh, I appreciate it. I do.
Yeah.
You know what? When I get acknowledged by my people on the streets,
Yeah.
I think that keeps me going.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trained in my brain to look for accolades.
Yeah.
I'm trained to just keep, you know, trying to better myself in my craft and love my art form. But it took a while to even get there. I've been kind of protected from the insanity of this business because of my artistry. Yeah. So I've been working, and I'm in this bubble.
Is the work.
So I'm just starting to really, truly understand that everybody's not nice, and everybody's not like you, and you. So I'm just starting to learn that too, and starting to really embrace it. Because I was the kind of person who would whistle past the graveyard like there's no zombie sitting right there. Right. Oh, no, they're not trying to eat my head. Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not trying to eat my brain. I've always been the kind of person that believed in a good man first.
Yeah.
You know, almost to just too much naivete.
To your detriment.
To my detriment.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to understand that there are some really nice people in this business. But from my perspective, my friend, who I keep a good millennial around me at all times to keep me popping or jizzy.
Listen.
So, you know, in talking to her about the business, and I was like, oh, it's like 50-50, 50% nice, 50% mean. She was like, oh, Tisha, you're such an idiot.
No, not idiot, but that's a good way to look at it, because you don't want to become jaded.
It's not true, though.
It's not true, but you don't want to become jaded. And what I had to learn in this business is I'm not going to let the people change me.
But I think there is a place for reality.
Yeah.
And a reality check, because only that can make sure that it protects you.
Yes.
You have to look at things realistically.
True.
But you don't have to let it take away your joy
Yeah.
or your happiness or anything.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let nobody. I'm too grown for that.
Yeah.
Let anybody take my joy or my happiness.
Exactly.
I have this newfound freedom, and I don't want to let that go.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us, because I brought it up earlier, but I love School Days.
Thank you.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Thank you.
What was that like working with Spike Lee? And how did that film change you? Or how did that film affect you?
Oh, it was really interesting because I was only 18 when I went in there. I was the youngest person there. And I was a baby. And when I when I auditioned for it, I just wanted to be in a Spike Lee movie. I didn't care what part. I didn't care if I was an extra.
Right.
So I assumed I was going to be one of the extras anyway. So when I went in there and I auditioned, I said thank you and left. And then, you know, Robbie Reed, the casting director for School Days, hit me. Well, I didn't know it was her, but I get this call and they say, you have a call back. No, they said you have a dance audition. And I'm not a dancer. So I was like,
You keep saying that, but that was full on
Thank you.
choreography, good
Very
and bad hair, see
cute,
if I
cute, cute.
care, good and bad hair.
Yeah, no. I hung up on the person and then they called back and it was Robbie. She was like, Tisha, this is a callback. I was like, oh, it's a callback for School Days? Oh no, I'll be there. What time is the earliest call and what time is the latest call? She said, 10 o'clock and 6 o'clock. And I was like, give me the 6 o'clock. And she says, okay. So I show up at 10 o'clock so that I could learn the dance moves and the choreography. And I stayed there all day long till it was time for me to go in at 6 o'clock. That was my trick.
That was smart.
Yeah, no, it would take me all day, make sure that I had it down. I didn't even take a water break.
Oh, wow.
I was so focused on making sure. And I remember seeing Spike come in and peek in. I didn't know he was peeking in on me, but he was, to see how I was doing. And then, okay, this is another exclusive show.
Oh,
I know, Otis the lead. Otis the lead is going to hate me for telling this story, but you didn't do that to me. Otis the lead is the choreographer of School Days. So back then, I don't know how it is now, but back then they would take 10 people in at a time. So you would be actually auditioning in front of your, you know, your peers and the people,
other people,
competition. And so they put 5 people up and they put me, I stayed in the back just in case. And they said, Tisha, come up front. And I was like, darn, right? So I stood up front and then Otis told me later he really wanted a trained dancer to be the lead. And again, I didn't know they were considering me for the lead. I thought that Vanessa Williams, the singer-actress, I thought she was the lead, right? So I'm just standing there and Otis walks around me slowly, just circling me like I was prey. And he's looking me up and down and I'm just standing there like a little 18-year-old. And he whispers in my ear, you don't have to do this, you know. And I go, but I want to try. And he goes, oh, and he walks away, right? And I was like this, oh, man. Oh, man.
I ain't got the part. He's getting ready to drop me.
So I just tried my hardest. And what I learned in those hours that I had to learn it. And then when I went home, I got the call from Spike and he told me I got it. And I was like, oh, what role? And he was like, the lead. And that's how I got it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so question.
Yeah.
When they told you had to lick the part on...
Man, let me tell you about that part.
I always, whenever I look at it, I'll be like...
I'll be fast forwarding. That's the
what
dumbest...
was going through her mind when she had to do that?
You're going to make me curse on this. Let me tell you something. So, in the script, Spike... In the script, there was no love scene. There was no love scene in that original script that I saw, right? And so one day I'm in dance rehearsal because we were like in 3 months worth of dance rehearsal. I'm in dance rehearsal in Atlanta. Spike and Giancarlo, they call me outside and I'm sitting on a corner I'm like looking up at them. I'm sitting on the curb and he goes, yeah, Tisha, for the good of the script, I think you should, you know, Giancarlo should be naked on top of you. And I was like, nope. So he goes, Tisha, I'm telling you for the good of the character, you should. And so Giancarlo tries to talk me. See, he's the calm one. They play a good cop, bad cop. He says, Tisha, I really, truly believe. I said, I said, you're a grown man. I'm an 18-year-old child. I pulled the child card. And I'm going to tell my mother. And so I run, I get up off the curb, and Spike is like, I'm sick of you and your mother. So I go to the corner, and there was a phone booth back in the day. That's how old it is, right? So this is the 80s. So I pick up the phone, and I call my mother, collect coffin Tisha. I said, "Ma, they want me, they get him on Lincoln on top of me. I don't want to know it." I'm on my way, right? So she comes flying from California.
Oh, God.
For my love scene, which was the next day. And so we're at the love. I said, "Ma, you just stay in this room. If I need you, I'll call you." But this is my first love scene. I didn't know the protocol. I didn't know anything, right? And I didn't mean to hold up production.
That's what happened to.
But it happens. And so I'm talking to the continuity person. That's the person who shows you what happens next and makes sure everything's on track. And so the continuity person is showing me the scene. And it says, 1, kiss, 2, lick the part, 3, lick the brand.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I know he has a brand. What's lick the part? Right? So she looks at me like this. The part in the middle. I said, I'm telling my mama. Spike was like, Jesus, what's wrong with you?
Nah, mama, again.
What's wrong with you? But he sat me down and he said, Tisha, I have to show this character, and this is how he convinced me to do it. He said, I have to show how far she will go for a G5G. I have to show how far she will go for her man. And I have to show this. And it made me go, okay, you keep one.
You better make it good.
And so instead of him being lying on top of me, I still had like a half bra on and underwear. And then the way that he shot it very beautifully, him and Ernest Dickerson, they had Giancarlo's body this way, where my body's this way, but his chest is laying on top of me. So if they're shooting from behind, it looks like he's
on top.
Yeah,
but it wasn't.
But I was young.
Yeah.
And it was my first love scene. I promise to anybody who wants to do a love scene with me, it won't be that.
I feel so like elated that I could finally ask that question, because all my life I always thought, what in the world was
the
she
nastiest
thinking?
I still don't watch it.
I got why you did it, and I get what their reasoning was behind it, but I still was just like, that was a lot.
That was wrong.
That was a lot.
I mean, the movie was as exciting and fun as it looks because it was a lot of our first movie. A lot of us came from theater. A lot of the dancers in this I already knew, I'd already worked with, but we were green. Tisha had just done Little Shop of Horrors, and then she got this movie. So I think she was like 18. But she's fierce, she was a joy to work with as well.
Jasmine Guy was one of the nicest. She just took me under her wing.
Oh.
She was really nice.
I just met her recently. She was super sweet.
She's still super sweet.
Yeah.
She'll always be that. That's just who she is as a human being. And then I remember going, there were the wannabes and the jigaboos.
Uh-huh.
I would mostly hang out with the jigaboos. Because, and I even hate calling them that, but during that time on the set, to make it more realistic, Spike had split us up. Mm-hmm. And he put the wannabes, or the lighter skinned girls, in a nicer hotel than the darker skinned girls.
To build up that resentment towards one another.
And then on top of that, he put all the boys in the lighter skinned girls. So then there's tension amongst us as well, or our group.
That was a method to his madness. Huh?
He was brilliant.
Yeah.
And it absolutely worked.
Yeah.
I remember when Kime, the other lead girl in School Days, we were being separated because we got there before all the other girls to build our chemistry and do our rehearsals. When they were moving her to the other hotel, we were literally crying and, didn't want to leave each other. and I would just go hang out with.
Because I was basically saying, I don't know if you realize you're such a national treasure because you've been in so many classics, especially for the Black community. Like,
okay, that is, you don't go into a job thinking, oh, this is going to be a classic.
Right.
You don't know whether you're even going to end up being in the movie or in the show because, you know, with editing and things. Like, I never told anybody that I was in the movie Boomerang.
You want to keep it down? Get ready to have some company, okay?
So who's the victim tonight?
Hey, Vaughn, I don't feel like playing with you, okay? Stop.
Why don't you just tell her the truth? Tell her you're gonna use her, then you're gonna dump her like you did me.
Excuse me, I did not dump you. We went out, it was whack, and it was your fault, and I wish, look, why don't you get over it and go find another man, huh? Get out of here.
I hope you catch a disease and your dick falls off.
Oh, well, I would expect you to say something crass like that. Don't forget I have the court order for you to stay. We ain't supposed to be that close to the gate. I'm gonna call your probation officer.
And why is that?
Well, because there were so many amazing comedians in that film. And so I assumed
everybody came.
My pages were 3 pages long. That's all I had in the entire film. I ad-libbed a lot, but, you know, so did everybody else. And so I assumed that, oh, they're not going to keep my little scene. So I just didn't tell anybody. And then I ran into Reggie Hudlin on the Paramount. For some reason, we were on Paramount, and I ran into him. He was like, oh my God, we just screened the movie. You're so good in it. I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you for keeping me in. He was like, no, Tisha, you're really funny in it. I was like, oh yeah, Reggie, thank you. Thank you for, you know, making sure that I have a part in there. And he's like, okay, right. And so then when I went to the premiere, I saw that, you know.
Like, I have a substantial part in here.
Yeah.
So wait a minute, was Boomerang before House Party or House Party?
House Party was first.
Okay, so you already had a relationship with Reggie Hudlin.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's go back to House Party then.
Okay.
Tell us, once again, one of my favorite, 1 and 2, you know.
Yeah.
So tell me, like, what was it like doing that? And how was it working with Robin Harris?
Oh, Robin. Robin was funny. Okay, here's another exclusive. Robin had the sleeping disorder.
Oh, yes, narcoleptic.
He was narcoleptic.
So he could just fall asleep at any moment.
At any moment. Like, if you see there's a scene where a kid goes out of the house and sneaks out of the house and the door closes and his eyes pop open. Well, they had to keep slamming a book on the floor to make his eyes pop open like that because he was knocked out. He would really go to sleep. Yeah, he was really knocked out, and I felt really bad for him. But after we filmed, Robin, AJ Johnson, and I did a video, right, to promote the show. It was a music video, so we danced in it, and Robin was in it, and he was standing between me and AJ Johnson. And so we're standing. Yeah. We're waiting for the shot, and he just falls asleep right there. And I looked at AJ, I said,
in the middle,
yo, he's asleep. And she goes, standing up. And so he goes, what you bitches looking at? Ain't nobody looking at you, Robin. Ain't nobody looking at you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he could sleep standing up.
That's bananas.
Yeah, I felt for him.
So what is one of your fondest memories from that set of working with
House Party?
Yes.
There were so many because I think it was just being able to work with AJ Johnson. I had met her on the set of School Days, and she had snuck onto our set on School Days set over and over and over again because she wanted to be in the movie, and she was relentless. I thought the bitch was actually
in it because she was
in
on
it
set
because she was always on set and always eating lunch with us. Like, she would go get her plate.
All right.
Like, AJ just was sneaking on the set.
Wait a minute, was she union there? Or wait a minute,
no, she wasn't an actress then.
Oh, okay, so
this is what she wanted to do. And so she was so relentless that Spike finally gave her a role.
Oh, wow.
Right? And so then we became friends, and she moved to California. And while we were, just hanging out, we hear about this audition. I was like, it would be really cool if we, auditioned for House Party together. And that's what we wound up doing. We snuck in and was able to maneuver. We were set to be in the room with 2 other people because they auditioned 2 girls together.
Together to see the chemistry.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you go and then you hit jackpot gold on sitcom. Well, let's go back because this the cast of Different World came to The View.
Yes,
And
I saw that.
Yes, and so when they were there, Whoopi was in an episode, and
Yes.
she was actually in an episode with you.
Yes.
Where you played a young lady that had AIDS.
Yes.
They
HIV
talked
positive.
about how how all the sponsors were trying to pull out of that episode, and how Whoopi was one of those people that stood up to come to be a part of that episode. How did that episode affect you? Like,
Well, first, back then, me getting on a sitcom at all was a big deal because I couldn't get arrested doing anything comedic. And I wasn't there to do comedy, but just getting that credit was a big deal to me, right? I couldn't get arrested, right? But they needed somebody. They needed that drama girl. They needed the girl who could, cry on a dime, I guess. And that's what I was known for back then in my earlier years. And so being able to do that iconic episode and I'm standing opposite of Whoopi Goldberg was so huge.
Yeah.
These were my associates and my friends from the School Days cast. Most of them were from the School Days cast. And so I felt at home with them and I knew that there was a comfort there, but being able to play opposite of Whoopi, she was iconic.
And for such an impactful role at that time, because that's at a time where
AIDS wasn't talked about, safe sex wasn't talked about.
And not about how it affects straight Black women.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So actually, y'all were really so cutting edge, because now that I think about it.
Yeah, it was really before its time.
Yeah.
So
wow,
I was glad to be a part of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you end up on Martin.
Yeah. I remember seeing Martin in New York sitting next to freaking Diana Ross. So cool.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he was sitting next to Diana Ross at the premiere of Boomerang.
Okay.
Right? And so as I'm passing by him and saying hello, he goes, Tisha, I'm about to do either a movie or a sitcom, and whichever one I do first, I want you to play the girlfriend. I was like, okay, Martin. All right, sure. Because, people don't really keep their words.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, sure. But what wound up happening is I got a pilot. I got a pilot and it was being picked up. The time had lapsed and it was being picked up for a
Do you remember
mid-season.
what the pilot was?
Yeah.
I guess we're not gonna know. Okay, we'll keep it.
It's.
Did it go on to do something?
Well, let me just say, because I love this director, Kevin Sullivan. It was an amazing pilot, and Martin came and was like, Tisha, I'm doing a series. And I was like, Martin, I just got a show. And he was like, I'm coming over your house, right? Now, Tashina had just flown out for pilot season to see if she could, so she was living with me. But she didn't tell she was like, don't tell anybody because I have an audition for this Martin show and I don't want no nepotism. I want to get it on my own. She's always been like that. And I was like, but if I tell him we're like friends and he just tried to offer me this, she was like, no, don't tell him nothing. I want to get it on my own. So he had just met Tashina in an audition for the Martin show.
Right.
And so
she was auditioning
she
for
was
the role
at my
of Pam?
house. She was auditioning for the role of Pam.
Oh, okay.
Right? And he walked in and he sees Tashina and goes, what do you do? And she goes, we're friends, right? And so I was like, yeah, she's living with me during pilot season. He was like, oh, okay, well, Tisha, I really want you to do it. Some kind of way I just knew in my heart, I was like, God, this other job is already set.
Yeah.
I have 7 episodes. It's already done. And he wants me to do a pilot that is not guaranteed to get picked up, but something in my heart, something in my soul said, choose Martin, choose him. And so I did. And I was like, Martin, I'm gonna take a chance. I'm gonna do it. And he was like, cool, perfect. Then he wound up telling me about Tashina. He said, how long y'all been friends? I was like, all our lives since we were kids. And he was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. He goes, I was like, yeah, but she's not going to want me to talk about her in front of you, right? Because she told me don't tell you that we're roommates.
Right.
And so he goes, Tisha, she came into, she's going to get the part. He said, Tisha, she came into the audition like this. Y'all ready?
Like I came here.
And that got her the role. She didn't even have to. She didn't even really have to audition. After she said that, because, you know, everybody comes in like, hi, I'm Cheryl, and I'm ready to audition. I'm auditioning for the role of Pam. No, not Tashina Arnold. Tashina Arnold plays no games. Okay, she comes, she does her stuff, and she leaves. But that's what got her the role.
Oh, wow.
The stankness of her greeting.
And she kept it throughout the run of the show.
Yeah, so that's what happened.
Oh, my goodness.
And they called us while I happened to be, I tricked Tashina to do a song with me in the studio. We were in the studio when we found out that she got the role. So.
Wow. Okay. So wait a minute. Was that Don't Ask My Neighbor? Was that when y'all did that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then we got Push.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So how was that? How did it feel to finally put out music?
I was too young.
Really?
Yeah, and I didn't understand or take in the fact that this was something that was really a great opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And I took it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't give my all when I did that first album.
Okay. So you go on and then you start to do Martin Ends, and then you go to do My Wife and Kids. Was My Wife and Kids next?
That was like in the 2000s.
So I jumped. What did I miss?
There's so much. I don't know. 1997 was the last episode of Martin, and then I started My Wife and Kids in 2001.
Okay. So there was a little break.
There was, but I was still working. I don't remember what I was doing.
Gotcha.
No, I'm so sorry.
No,
there's things. There's things on my resume I've never seen.
Really?
I've never
you did
seen
it and went on and didn't even ask what it was like.
I've never seen it. And there's some things that I remember. Another exclusive.
Yes. Give it to me.
Listen, no, I remember not too long ago, I had done this movie. It didn't have a title. Okay, it was the untitled blah, blah, blah movie, right? And so they asked me to do it. I went to San Francisco. I did it for them, came back home. And then I'm getting all these calls. Oh my God, you're so amazing in this movie. I was like, I'm not in a movie. And they're like, no, it's, I just saw it. What do you, it's in all the festivals and it's at Sundance and it's one of the talks of Sundance. And I was like, I'm not in a movie. What are you talking about? Yes, you are.
Is it the Not Another Church movie?
No, no. I'm not going to say which one because I still haven't seen the movie.
But we want to see the movie.
Y'all got to just look.
How can we look? We don't have a name. We don't have a name.
I don't care. I'm not saying it because I've never seen it, and it's gotten a lot of. I mean, even the white people were coming up to me.
Well, that's more reason for you to tell
the white
us.
people were coming up to me. Oh my God, I love your movie so much, right? Like it was a really like heartfelt movie, and I still haven't seen it. So
that's more reason for you to tell us.
I just don't watch.
Okay.
So I don't.
Okay.
IMDb
I'm gonna put y'all on it to go check it out, and then somebody hit us in the comments and let us know.
Yeah, don't say that I didn't watch it though.
Okay, right. Well, it's too late.
There's a lot of stuff I have never watched.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, well, do you, because you've sort of been pushed into this category of a comedic actress in a way.
Yeah.
Do you want to do more dramatic roles, or do you enjoy comedy and comedy?
So like it's funny that it's the same question that pops up when people ask me, do you enjoy singing more than you enjoy acting more? Do you enjoy being behind the scenes? Do you enjoy cooking? Do you enjoy painting? And I can't choose because I get a different type of high from each one. Mm-hmm. So I can't choose whether I love movies more or whether I love single camera, multi-camera. I love everything. And recently I just did a multi-camera. I was doing two things. I was doing a single camera.
Okay, what was the single camera?
Uncoupled.
Okay.
And then a multi-camera at the same time.
Okay, explain to the people that don't know what the difference is.
Okay, so The multi-camera is 4 cameras, and it's like a sitcom. Those are, sitcoms usually. And then the single camera is more like a movie style.
Yes.
So you can do a single camera comedy, or you can do a multi-camera or single camera drama, blah, blah, blah. And I was doing both. And so with Uncoupled, the writing was so amazing. It was the best writing that I've ever had to play off of.
It had been one of my favorite shows. I thought it was interesting
that
it was going. I thought it did it.
It was on Netflix.
Yep.
People
were talking about
it. It was number 3 in the world.
Right.
It was so huge.
Right.
Did not get picked up.
Didn't get picked up.
Got picked up by Showtime.
And everybody was excited.
Everyone was excited.
We was looking forward to it.
I was looking forward to it. Then we were actually in pre-production, and the strike happened.
The writers.
So we had the writer strike and the actor strike, and we had to stop production. And then once that was over, we were gearing up to go back and film. It was okay on a Thursday. On a Thursday.
Chilling on a Thursday.
We're chilling on a Thursday. They just sent me 7 scripts that were absolutely mouth-watering, juicy to work with.
Yeah.
It was so good. They were casting for my significant other.
Oh, so they were getting ready to go deeper into your character.
I had just gotten my New York apartment. I was supposed to move in on April 15th. And that was a Thursday. On a Friday, the next day, I start getting all these ding, 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 ding notices. I look at my phone and I see a deadline post that says, Showtime is no longer moving forward with Uncoupled. First time in the history of me being in this business, 52 years, that we didn't get a
notice or someone
or
at least
call
telling
or
explain.
But it happened with all of us. None of us knew. The producers, the writers, the actors, the teamsters, nobody knew.
And when you
and found out in the trades.
And when you call, or your publicist call, or your people calling, like, what's going on? Is anyone giving you any answers?
No, there's no answers. They just announced it and didn't notify us first. Usually you get a notification. Yeah. But that was the first time in my career. And you know me, I moved forward really, really quickly, but it was shocking.
Yeah.
But you know what? Honestly, I've been through 5 strikes.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, since the 70s, I'm going to be around at least 5.
Okay, right.
It was
You're
at
right.
least 5.
You're right.
I've been through a number of strikes, and every time there's almost like they got to put you back in your place.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that
allegedly.
I'm not saying that that's what they were doing.
Right.
But it was just a very strange way to find out that they've moved forward.
Yeah.
And that you have to pivot.
Yeah.
But I'm really good at,
yeah,
pivoting, thank God. God, gave me the gift of tenacity.
Yeah.
And I just prayed about it and just kept it moving.
Okay. So, like, you have this vast, amazing career. So is there something that you haven't done that you want to do? And have you ever done anything outside of the acting? Have you directed? Have you written?
So during COVID isolation, we were all in this bubble. And it was for the first time in my life that I didn't have anybody in my ear telling me what to do or telling me what I couldn't do. Mm-hmm. So I tried everything that I've ever wanted to do. And one of the bigger things was that I've always wanted to be a writer since I was 7 years old.
Really?
I've always wanted to write. I wanted to write a book. I wanted to be an author. I wanted to do that. And so I started writing and formed a production company, sold 5 things while we were in COVID isolation. And so now, I have Danny Wright, who is the head of creative at You Go Girl, and I have another company called the Turnpike Alliance. Shout out to Jersey.
And we love Danny.
Yes, we love Danny. And then there's Andrew Jameson, my other producing partner, and we, co-founded the Turnpike Alliance. We just sold a show to NBC, which is a drama. Thank you so much. It's funny because when I first started writing, most of the things that I wrote were thrillers. Mm-hmm.
which is such a departure
Thrillers,
from
dramas. It's departure from what people know me as.
Yeah.
But it was the thing that motivated me the most, and I could get out my stuff. Comedy is a little bit harder for me to write because I'm a little bit more judgmental, and I know that people are looking to see, you know what I mean?
Is it funny enough?
Right, exactly. So it takes me a little while longer to do the comedy stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I'm doing, and I'm also writing a book.
Is it?
It is not a salacious tell-all book. It is actually a book about me and my son's journey with autism.
Oh, that's amazing.
My baby, yeah.
Like a lot of people, I got choked up this morning. I was watching something on CNN about this guy that does a car wash to make sure that people with autism.
I saw that.
I was in there.
Have jobs.
Yes,
Yeah.
and to make sure, and the way they set it up so that they can, if they forget what they're doing, they just do the passcode.
So great, right?
I was like, it's 9 o'clock in the morning.
I know. Those are my favorites.
Yeah, I was dying this morning.
But
so, yeah.
this journey was such a, you know?
Yeah.
And it's
What
funny.
resources did you use?
It's hard to explain. I have to tell you because this book is really, it's kind of different because I'm not using a ghostwriter. I'm writing it all myself. And which is funny because when I got a book agent, when he read my pages, he says, "So who's helping you?" I said, "Nobody." He was like, "Nobody's helping you?" I was like, "No, nobody. You wrote all of this." Like, yeah, like I would just jot down my feelings over the past 22 years and, you know, kind of combined it into this book form. And he said, "Tisha, you're a really good writer." I was like, "Are you serious? Really? Are you just saying that?" And he was like, "No, I wouldn't say that. I would tell you if you needed help because we need to sell it. But Tisha, I'm actually excited about this book. It's filled with so much heartbreak, triumphs, hope, laughter. Like there's this journey is like filled with ups and downs, and it's almost like a how-to, how you did what you did." He said, "So it's a really good book." And he said, "You should be really proud of yourself." So for somebody to tell me that I'm a really good writer is probably the biggest thing for me because it's something that I've always aspired to do.
When should we expect this? Like, do you have?
I would say next year.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm only 6 chapters away from finishing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so.
I'm excited.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and
too.
because I know a lot of people with amazing children that have dealt with autism, and it's just learning how to pivot and teach them how.
Oh, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot to it. And
did you have support system? Like, were there other people that came around?
yes, I couldn't do anything without my village.
Yeah.
My dad was a big, big help. My dad worked with group home children our whole life. I lived in a group home with, it was me, my 3 brothers, my mom, my dad, and 14 other brothers.
Oh, wow. So that's crazy.
Yeah. The stories and the things that I've seen are, you know, amazing and heartbreaking, but my dad was so amazing with children. And I always say, you know, watching him and the fact that I was trying to become an actress was the reason why I was given the gift of Zen, which was my son. That's his name, Zen.
Y'all used to have a nightclub named after him.
We did. There was a nightclub named Zen after my son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have something in common.
Uh-oh.
I told you a little earlier.
Uh-oh. What was
that
it?
we're both thieves of dressing rooms. Then when we go into green rooms, we have to steal the snacks.
Listen. Don't put it in there. Don't put the snacks in there if you don't want me to get them.
Yeah.
The snacks are nice.
Because I know Danny told you that you should just eat it while you're there.
No. We just left the show. I'm with this one over here. Just want to say hello to the people. Hi. Thank you. And so we leave the show, and she took every piece of snack. Hold on.
It was in my dressing room that they let me have it in my dressing room. Gimme, get off my stuff.
All the snacks,
These would go great in my house.
But you have a million snacks at home.
But they left it in my dressing room. I'm supposed to just leave it there for the next person?
But you're supposed to eat it in the dressing room.
No.
Bro, you can afford some chips.
They left it in my dressing room.
When I tell you
I'm
it's
not
not
stealing.
even water left in there.
Oh, that is a lie.
No, that's stupid.
No, I agree.
Thank you. So when you go with your celebrity clients, right, and then they go and they hit their dressing room, and then there's a bunch of snacks there.
It's time to go grocery
Sherry
shopping.
got some good snacks.
Sherry,
too.
I love going to
Shepherd
the
got-
Sherry show.
She
I
got
love
some
going
good-
to the Tonight Show. Have you been to Jimmy Fallon?
I have not. He got good snacks.
We got to get you on Jimmy Fallon. He has the milk cookies. He has a whole thing. He puts.
Jennifer Hudson got some good snacks.
I ain't never been to Jennifer. I got to go to Jennifer.
Because you know what? It's a combination.
But you know, when I saw that video that you and Danny did, you did come away. That
Listen, I'm taking all the snacks.
I'm doing the same.
It's gonna look good in my house. I
Listen.
can put it in my guest room. My kids will be happy. And yeah, I might have a couple of those things already in my house. But shoot, it's sitting there. I'm not supposed to leave it for the next person.
I totally agree. Listen,
That's what-
I have
and-
taken whole fruit trays.
And listen, if you want a good snack tray, is one that is like, it's got the fruit, it's got the sugar, and it's got the grains
Yep,
and the
the
nuts
salt
and
with
the
the
grass
nut,
and
yep.
stuff too, and the seaweed.
All the
but you
stuff.
got to get all of that. Don't
Listen.
just give me the nuts and the seaweed. I don't want that.
Good Morning America used to give you a plastic tray of fruit, but they would have it wrapped in. And I have been known to take a bag big enough.
Absolutely. It's grocery shopping
It's
time.
grocery shopping
Fuck
time.
that.
Listen, they don't pay us enough. We got to get our
And then
benefits.
they put it
when we-
on. They put it on Jennifer Hudson too.
I thought that was wrong. I thought that was wrong that she put you out there like that. I thought that was very wrong of her.
was messed
But
up.
I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna talk about it. I love Jennifer, so
I love
we're not
Jennifer
gonna
too.
put her out like
No.
that. Okay. And so I got 2 more questions and then I'm done.
Sure.
So you're out here single now. What is a Tisha Campbell type? What does she look for?
Tisha Campbell don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. You got to understand something, sir.
I'm understanding.
I was in an almost 30-year relationship. Prior to that, I had nothing but boyfriends. So I've never been on a proper date with a man before.
Okay.
Let me say that again. A proper date. And I'm a cheap date too. I don't like steak. I don't like lobster.
Really?
Just give me some turkey or chicken or something and I'm good.
Right.
Like I'm a cheap date, right? Never been.
Are you serious?
Never been. And this whole newness of it all is kind of weird for me because, you know, there's apps and websites.
I was going to say, are you open to the apps?
No, I'm not open to any apps.
What?
And nothing but 20-year-olds hit on me anyway, 20-something-year-olds.
That's good, though.
Look here.
That mean you're a young tender. That mean,
Listen.
come on.
Listen, my friend Danny, I'm gonna tell you what she said.
What she said?
See, again, keeps me a good millennial around me, not only to keep it popping, but to tell me the truth. But she could be a little bit nicer when she
About
said
it.
that. So she goes, Tisha, you know you're not marriage material. I go, I'm too marriage material, right? And she goes, no, honey. Nobody wants to marry you.
Oh.
They want to have sex with Gina.
That is
It's the truth. It's the truth.
No, I don't
It's
believe
the
it.
truth.
I don't believe it.
It's the truth. Danny, is it the truth?
Danny said
Yup.
that's the truth. That's what your son calls you, Gina.
My son does call me Gina. I've never shown my kids my work. I don't watch it, so they're not gonna watch it,
Right.
right? And if they pass by the television, they see me. It's just their life, right? They don't pay attention to their mothers on television, right? They know what I do for a living, but they've never. I don't sit down and let them watch my work.
That's crazy.
Normally, because I just wanted them to look at me as mommy, and that what I do is just a job like anybody else's job, like the teacher or the policeman or anybody that, you know, it's just a job, right? So recently, I sat my kids down to watch House Party.
Okay.
Now, I've never shown them the Martin Show or anything. Somebody else showed Zeke, so that's why Zeke calls me Gina.
Gina, okay.
Right? He don't even call me mommy. I don't care. I I just answer because it's too much.
You don't even fight it. It is what
why
it is.
fight it, right? So he just, Gina, what we having for dinner? Gina, I miss you. Gina. I just go, thank you, baby. Well, anyway, so we sat them down to watch House Party for the first time.
And what was their reaction?
My son Zeke said, I mean, Mommy was okay. I just don't understand why it's a classic. Right? So,
are you serious?
Like, okay, let me sit you down and explain, right? I said, at that time, there were no movies about young African-American kids just having a good time and living life. The only things that were being greenlit at that time were shoot-em-ups or gangster films and stuff like that. And yeah, that's a smidgen of our lives, but there's other things that happen with African-Americans other than that. And just to see some young kids dancing and having a good time and living life and coming to age, that was a big deal for us because you get to see Black people on television and they're represented all the time, even in cartoons now. But we didn't have that. I think we had Fat Albert and the Jackson 5.
Oh, well, yeah.
We had the Jackson 5.
Yeah.
And that little, and what's his name on the Peanuts that couldn't sit with everybody at Thanksgiving.
But you know he got his own show now.
I saw Franklin.
Franklin got his own show
Franklin got his own show. But it's interesting because my kids don't have the same reality as we did, you know? And representation really does truly matter.
It does.
Right? There was a time where I was the only little girl on TV.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you go around your house playing Scissors, Go Gina?
No.
You don't play that?
No, I hear it. If it's playing, if it comes up on my thing, I don't go out of my...
If Scissors...
When it first came out, I was like, oh, that's really dope.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then I met her, and that was really cool. She was like, I put you in my son. I was like, I know, that's so cool. But to see how people revere those two characters, or Jay and Michael on My Wife and Kids with Damon Wayans, it's such a cool thing for me.
Yeah.
That people still call me that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so my signature question that I ask everybody
is... boy.
It's an easy one.
Okay.
It's an easy one. It's really simple. It's what does Tisha Campbell find beauty in?
What do I find beauty in?
Yeah.
Mountains, grass, my kids.
Oh.
I absolutely find the beauty in my two boys. And I'm starting to find the beauty in myself, which is a really big deal.
Was that hard for you?
Yeah.
Too much noise?
Too much noise, too much people telling me what I need to do, who I should be. I truly believe that now I'm starting to appreciate myself. I've always put myself last. I've always put myself in the background. I've always made myself smaller to make other people comfortable. And just embracing who I am today in my second half. I don't mind. I like her. I'm starting to like myself a lot. I hope someday that I get better and just continue to get better and continue to help people and stay the course that God put me on. So
I want you to know I love you.
Thank you.
If your second half is anything like your first half, then ooh, baby, you better buckle up.
Thank you, Jesus. Hope so.
I love you so much.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for doing this. No, thank you for doing this.
No.
You have no idea. Like I've done quite a few interviews now.
Yeah.
You actually make my 50th.
Oh,
you make my 50th. Thank you. I just celebrated 5 years of doing this show.
That's fantastic.
And so to have you be my 50th interview, it has made my heart so glad because I wanted to do someone that I revered and I love so much and that I don't have to put on to have the conversation, that I would truly adore you.
And you're a really good interviewer.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I do appreciate you.
Listen, where can we find you? What you got coming up? What you want to promote right quick?
Oh, right now I'm doing, I'm in Lopez versus Lopez.
Okay.
With George Lopez and Mayan Lopez. I'm also...
Stay working.
And also in this movie, Not Another Church Movie, it was one of those, you know, Year of the Yes movies that I did for a friend.
Were you nervous about doing that? Because that feels like, I mean, because it felt, from watching the previews, it looks like it's like poking fun.
Oh, it's a parody.
Gotcha.
You know, it's nothing that you take seriously.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's just a parody.
Gotcha.
I wasn't nervous. I honestly, again, it was one of those Year of the Yes things where I'm not going to read the script. I'm only going to read what I need to do. But I love playing different characters. So no, I wasn't nervous.
When does that come out?
It's out now.
Oh, is it?
It's in theaters now.
Oh, okay. Perfect timing then.
Yeah.
Okay. And what else? Anything else? Be on the lookout for the book. Just ready.
Somebody write to Instagram and tell them to change my name back to my maiden name. They will not let me change it because I have too many followers. Thank God I have followers. But seriously, like, can I have my real name back, please? Instagram.
Please do it. Instagram.
Oh, come on.
They are so hard.
Come on.
Please.
Okay, so that's Instagram. And then...
are you big on TikTok?
I am. Tisha Campbell on TikTok.
Okay, there we go.
At Tisha Campbell.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click like and subscribe. And thank you so much.
Bye, you guys. Thank you.